Hi guys, Ray Newland here doing your video for how to save a penalty. 1,000 apologies. I know some of the people goalkeepers who subscribe to my videos have been waiting for this for a long time. It's just that I've been jet setting, I'm afraid guys, all around the world with J4K. When I started this video course for yourselves, J4K was in I think 13 countries. We've now gone into our 16th country, so obviously we've been very busy, and from the beginning of this year, January 2012, we've been putting a lot of focus into the United States, and already we're in 5 states within the United States as well. So J4K is becoming very popular in the United States. As I say, a lot of the goalkeepers who attending our courses are basically saying, it's they've not seen the training sessions like what we do. So, which is obviously a compliment that we're making so many goalkeepers in the United States happy, and we're obviously developing them, and getting some of them obviously trials all over the world as well. So that's pretty cool. Regarding the video, we're going back to the penalties, guys. I just want to tell you this now, there's no secrets to saving penalties. It's actually to do with your experience. The more you play, the more penalties you take, the better you become, and you actually start to get to be able to read what the penalty taker is going to do. Sometimes they'll put the body position in a certain way, and you're 100% certain it's going to go a certain way. So as I say, the more you do penalty saves, as obvious as it sounds, guys, the better you will become. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is sometimes you'll get a goalkeeping coach that will state, that there's only one way to save a penalty, and it's generally, whichever way the goalkeeping coach, whatever success they had. Now, don't get me wrong, it's obviously good for a goalkeeping coach to pass on this experience. However, we're all different, so what could be successful for me might not be successful for one of my students, because they're a difference, obviously shape, size, height, etc. Probably weight as well. I'm on a bit of the chunky monkey side. So it's important as a goalkeeping coach to give your tips and your experiences, but to say there's only one way to save a penalty, I think that can be very dangerous, to be honest with you guys. As I say, it's like, just to give you an example of different goalkeepers who I've personally know, or who I've listened to over the years, how they explain how they save penalties. I'll just briefly explain. Jim Leighton, legend, Scottish international, played for Manchester United. He's actually now a J4K coach. What he said to myself was, what he used to do is watch the penalty taker's eyes, and whichever way, as they were lining up, whichever way the penalty taker looked, whichever corner, Jim Leighton would go to the corner or the side the penalty taker was making, and Jim was very successful saving penalties. However, I spoke to other goalkeeping coaches, and what they will do, if the penalty taker looks in one corner as they're placing the ball down, the goalkeeper stated they would go the other way, and that used to be successful for them. And again, so completely two different spectrums, guys. And these goalkeepers are having, obviously, success rate, so to speak. And then you got like Mark Bosnich. Some of you might remember Mark, the younger keepers. He played for Chelsea many moons ago and was very successful saving penalties. And what his philosophy was is getting the goal as fast as he could. He was a big guy, so he made the goal look as big as possible. So when the penalty taker was, I actually think this is a good strategy. It doesn't give the penalty taker a chance to see a big space, if that makes sense. Because if he looks up and just sees this giant figure in goal, it's obviously, psychologically, the penalty taker's thinking, whoa, I've only got a small space to hit here. Whereas if he doesn't get in goal fast, obviously the penalty taker can see this big, obviously vast space to open. So Mark Bosnich used to have success with that. However, I spoke to other goalkeepers, and what they do is they deliberately don't go in goal, because they want to try and wait as long as they can and put the pressure to get the penalty taker thinking about, obviously, I've got a penalty, people are watching me. So again, goalkeepers use a different type of psychology, if that makes sense, guys. So I hope you, as I say, you can see, each goalkeeper has their own sort of way how to save a penalty, and as I say, practice more and get more experience, guys, I promise you will find the way that works for yourself. I think what used to work for me, and I'd actually recommend this to goalkeepers as they're starting off, as I say, just to get the basics right. And you'll find this, you know, the lower you play, this is actually the percentage wise you'll actually win on this. Obviously, the higher you start to play, you can't rely on this as much, guys, to be honest with you. But all I used to do is, if I was taking getting a penalty against me from a right-footed kicker, I would go to me right. I'd make my mind up early that I was going to me right, unless I'd seen something in the body language that made me go. And that was like just instinct. In the split second, I'd go the opposite way. And a left footer, I would go to the left, and that was successful for myself, guys. And I'm not saying it's the best way to do it, I'm just saying it's successful for myself. But I think that obviously when you're children, and maybe the lower leagues, where the penalty takers might, with the greatest respect, might not have the ability, you know, to swivel the body weight and put the ball in the opposite corner, that might be a good shout for yourselves, guys, just to try. As I say, I'm not saying the best for yourself. As I say, it's just I'm going on towards the penalty taker's ability, if that makes sense, guys. Also, as well, you see all these goalkeepers doing these mad wobbles and all that. And Bruce Grobbelaar was famous for doing that. Which again, I think you've got to have the right type of character to do that. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, by the way, but me personally, I think sometimes when a goalkeeper does do this, you can actually put yourself off, to be honest with you, because if the penalty taker's made his mind up which way he's going to go, all the actions you're doing, it's not going to put him off, to be honest with you. And as I say, you could be jumping about, so you could be just you just might have just jumped in the air, even if it's that much, as he struck the ball. Now, even if it's that much you're in the air, when you're in the air, you can't take off. You know, so I just think, you know, if you're a certain mad character, you can get away with doing all this, but for the majority of goalkeepers, I think you know it's best to get on your line. You know, whether you decide to do it early like Mark Bosnich, or take your time and make the centre forward sweat. And I think once you've got your place, you know, your starting position, I think the majority of keepers, bounce about and obviously, you know, be nice and bubbly, nice and relaxed, you know, nice and sharp. But I think be careful going a bit too crazy, guys, because I do think most keepers can put themselves off. Also, as well, you've got the younger goalkeepers who in small-sided goals. Now, again, me personally, I know this is a bit mean what I'm saying, but the younger penalty takers, the majority of them have not really got the ability to hit the ball in the corners. So I think what most goalkeepers should do in these small-sided goals is just stand as big as you can. And I'll be honest with you, is rely on your feet. For the bottom corners. Obviously, so again, you know, because 9 times out of 10, because I've watched seriously hundreds of thousands probably of young goalkeepers get penalties in the small-sided games. And I'll be honest with you, 8-9 times out of 10, the ball's only struck within a yard of the goalkeeper. As I say, you know, with the greatest respect to the young penalty takers, they've not really got the ability yet to place it in the corners. Don't get me wrong, the minority have, but the majority haven't. So what I've found, what I taught my students, is if you just stand as big as they can, generally it's just a reaction save. If it's low, you can use the feet, because obviously sometimes, you know, if you don't go early, it's very difficult to make up that time, if that makes sense, because balls move that fast now. So, but what I've a huge success with my students, as I say, was to stand as big as they can, and as I say, 8-9 times out of 10, they made a save generally within the yard of themselves, either with the arms or the feet. Obviously, once you get to the full-sided goals, I'll be honest with you, I think if you wait for the shot to be taken, it's too late. I'll be honest with you guys. I know some coaches will say wait for the penalty taker to shoot before you make your move. I think that, you know, I'm not saying it's the right or wrong thing to do, but I think if you're going to wait for the penalty taker to strike a ball in the full size goals, especially the way balls move now, guys, they're 1,000 miles an hour, aren't they? I think it's going to be too late, to be honest with you. You know, so, and again, that's why it's important, you know, practice, guys. You know, so when you know, as I say, when you're training, you know, always try and do a few minutes penalty practice with some of your teammates, and just try and watch their body shape, guys. You know what I mean? And don't worry if you get it wrong, you know, because that's where that's the only way we learn, is by getting things wrong and then learning from our mistakes. You know, so read the body shapes, and I know it sounds daft. Keep your little journal. So when you've had your penalty, the penalties, write down the right footers. So many went to your left, so many went to the right, so many went down the middle. And as I say, and that's what professional goalkeepers do as well. As I say, it's like a lot of the professional goalkeepers who make fantastic saves. It's not done by accident, because you know they've got a team of people that will go and watch videos of a football team, you know, but like a team that they're playing. For argument's sake, like Liverpool might be playing Manchester United, so the Liverpool goalkeeping coach will look at some videos where the Manchester United penalty takers, and they'll watch the percentage of where they've gone. Is it the left hand side? Is it the right? Is it straight down the middle? And before the game, they actually do speak to the goalkeepers and say, right, if Ryan Giggs takes a penalty, 75% of his penalties go to the right, you know, 10% down the middle, you know, and if Wayne Rooney does it, 90% to the right, you know. So a professional goalkeeper can obviously go into a game, and if he knows he's going to be trying to potentially save a penalty against a Wayne Rooney or another professional player, they know in their minds where percentage-wise where to go, and it doesn't necessarily mean they'll go there. By the way, again, a professional goalkeeper might think, right, Ryan Giggs goes 75% to the left, but again, if the goalkeeper sees something in Ryan Giggs' body shape, again going back to experience here, guys, in a split second he might change his mind and make the save. Obviously, the younger you are, obviously when you play the lower leagues, you know, you're not going to have that type of, you know, goalkeeping coaching giving you a loads of percentages. So the next best thing you can do, guys, is just practice with your own players. And as I say, and then just take notes. It'll really help you guys, seriously. So that's it. I mean, as I say, you know, I just want to finish off by saying, you know, it's no big secret how to save penalty, guys. You know what I mean? You've got to find your way. That's what I'm trying to explain in this video as well. And again, practice makes perfect. You don't get anything in life, whether you want to be a goalkeeper, a ballet dancer, you know, martial arts. It's just practice. And the ones that practice the most and get the most experience, they're generally the ones that go on and play high levels, guys. But again, I'm just going to stress, I want you to understand that, as I say, there's no big secret to saving penalties. It's down to yourself, your experiences, and obviously your instincts as the more and more you do it. Okay, so this is me finishing off. Hopefully this has helped you guys. Again, what I would like to please ask you to do is please pass this on to as many goalkeepers as you can. Okay, remember, Keepers Union, the only way we all develop as well is helping each other. Okay, guys, so this is Ray Newland signing off. Best of goalkeeping, guys.